Justin, can we start with playing lists and Liam Henry in particular? Has there been any movement on where he stands with that contract going forward?
No. Like I've been saying all along, ball's in his court. So, we're awaiting a decision from him.
Do you have a timeline for him? Did you have
not really. No, haven't given him a timeline. These things usually come post-season. How quickly we'll wait and see. But Bally's been on record to say the longer these things go, the more likelihood of they don't go our way. But so the ball's in his court.
How frustrating has it been knowing that you've got a contract in front of him and then he's been playing career best footy at the same time and you've got that uncertainty around his future?
Yeah, well, it's frustrating. Like in the end, we've given Liam a lot of opportunity and tried to develop him the best we can to get him to this point where he's playing consistent AFL footy in his role. And he's been at the club for a long time now, since he was 13. So, it'd be disappointing if he's gone, if he goes, because I think this is the best place for his career and for him to continue to develop, as we've seen this year. So, but then again, he's got to do what he thinks is the right thing for him, and we'll wait and see what he decides.
What's your judgment of the situation, confidence-wise, in 50-50?
It's not really. I don't really have an opinion on that. I'll wait for him to give me a firm answer.
This weekend, no Jaeger and Mira. Do you look at bringing back Will Brady?
No, he will be in the mix. Work out the mix of the team. We've got a few options. Raz was sub on the weekend. So we've got a few options.
Where does Will sort of sit in your long-term planning? What is he?
He's a part of our long-term plan since we gave him a contract. So he's just got to continue to work on the things that we want him to work on. And I know a lot of people look at the stats and see that he had 30 possessions. That's not the only thing we look at as coaches. We look at the game a little bit more holistically than that and a little bit deeper than that. So he's really clear on what he needs to work on, and he's continued to chip away at that.
Where do you see the list? Where do you assess it? Is this a premiership list where you've got at the moment a top 4 list? How do you look at it?
Well, it's a young developing list. And like I've been saying all along, I haven't lost faith in the majority of this list taking us to where we want to go. So, I'm really confident that we keep this list together. We get another really strong pre-season into them. We can turn around this season really quickly next year. And I've been on the record to say that we've taken a step back this year. Bit of that was not by plan, but like we made some decisions at the end of the last year, which is forced us to take a step back. And I'm pretty confident, or really confident, that that'll give us the ability to take 2 steps forward.
When you say those decisions, do you mean the players that moved out of the club?
Yeah, absolutely. And forced us into a lot of change. At the end of last year, I think it was 10 players turnover, 25% of our list, which is a lot. And a lot of game time went out of our list. And we got a lot of younger. But we think this core group of players is going to take us to where we want to get to.
Where is Matt Chapner at the moment?
Yeah, well, he's working his way back from a really serious injury. And, when you have surgery on your back, you don't come back and pick up the pace of the game and your skills and your timing in a couple of games. So it's going to take him a while to build his fitness up. I thought he showed some really good signs as a deep forward last week. But he's going to take some time to make sure he gets his mobility back and knock the rust off his skills. So
he unfortunately misses by 1 game on qualifying for finals. Will you guys look to the WHC and try and get an exemption to help him play considering the injury?
Yeah, we've got to weigh that up because there's a firm rule that we're only allowed to play 12 players, I think, during the finals. So we've got to weigh up the balance between him getting game time and that being the right thing for his progression versus one of our younger players missing out on that experience. So we'll work through that.
How did you view Tom Emmett's debut on the weekend?
Yeah, really liked it. Thought he brought really good energy, really good commitment to all parts of the game, and he was able to finish off his work. So I think the players got a lot of energy from playing with him and really enjoyed it. His enthusiasm. So, yeah, no, I was really happy with it.
Is that a bit of a silver lining in this season? I mean, not the season you would have liked results-wise, but bloody some of these younger players, like, you know, more game time into Amos, Johnson and Warner and now Tom Emmett in the fold?
Yeah, and had, you know, Josh Tracy, Sturdy, Wagner. So yeah, we've got a lot of games into a lot of young players, which will give them a lot of confidence heading into the off season.
Just on Tabs, so is planning Tabs, Amos together in the same forward line that firmly in your plans for next year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've got no doubt Tabs can get back to his best footy once he puts his injuries behind him. You know, in the second half of the year, would have loved to have had Tabs available, because it does. He would draw the best defender, takes a little bit of pressure off Jai, and you know, gives us a bit more structure ahead of the ball when JT goes into the ruck. So yeah, I think Tabs is an important player for us going forward.
Do you expect to see him early next year? How is he tracking on the recovery?
Yeah, I do. Like, I think you know, a bit of downtime in the off season. You know, he should head into the off season in pretty good condition physically, which will allow him to get a lot of work in, which is what he needs to be able to build his body to be resilient. So get a lot of work into him in the right way, get a really good pre-season into him, and can see him bouncing back next year.
With that forward line, you've always got an embarrassment of riches when you look at it, especially with Tom Emmett coming in and that. Do you then consider maybe playing 5 more midfield next year? Is that what you look at?
Yeah, well, it is body dependent, as we know with Fifey. He hasn't been able to get that right for the last 2 or 3 years. So the plan is going into the pre-season to get him more midfield time in the pre-season. See how his body holds up to that, and yeah, if our forward line can continue to develop and these young players take the next step, he might be better served in the midfield.
You spoke last week about wanting to get a look at some different players. How do you weigh up that opposed to bringing someone like Michael Walters back for one game at the end of the season and travelling to Melbourne at his age?
Yeah, well, he's saying he's right to go. We'll play him. Like he wants to play, and you know, given his season, he deserves to finish off the year in the team and playing, and that'll set him up best for the off season. So, and to have his experience back will be good for our younger forward line. Yeah, and you know, we could throw the magnets around, but we've got a lot of players in the team at the moment who are just finding their way in their roles. So, yeah, we'll probably just leave the experienced guys where they are and allow the younger guys to try and embed their roles for one more game.
You said you're confident of bouncing back. Touch wood, everything goes right over pre-season, and you obviously get an easier draw considering where you're going to finish on the ladder. Is finals a non-negotiable for next year?
Look, I'm not going to jump into what the end of next year looks like. I'm worried about the end of this year first, and then I'm worried about how our players embrace the off-season and pre-season first. So I'm not going to make any predictions on the end of next year.
Weigh up any debutant this week?
No, I don't think so. No.
What do you make of the 22 under 22? Is it pleasing to see some young guys get named?
Yeah, it is. So, it is. It's good to see them get recognition. I think we had the most players in that squad. So, we feel, been saying all along, feel like we've got the core group there. So we just need to keep getting the games into them.
How important is the win on the weekend?
It's another great opportunity for us to go to the MCG. So, the win's important. I'm more focused on the process and making sure we continue to build our footy. Now, I think the last 5 weeks we've seen some aspects of our footy really take a step forward. So I want to see a continuation of that.